Good day and welcome to Frontliner, the program where we go beyond the headlines to examine the issues shaping our nation and our collective future. I am Chidiogo Asuke, and today we focus on a debate that has generated intense public interest and raised fundamental questions about leadership, democracy, faith, and accountability. Should religious leaders remain silent when citizens are groaning under economic hardship, insecurity, and rising poverty? Or do they have a sacred responsibility to speak truth to power, regardless of whose government is in office? These questions have resurfaced following the recent exchange between the presidency and the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria after the bishops' meeting with President Bola Tinubu. Cardinal John Onaiyekan revealed that during the meeting, the bishop expressed concerns over the worsening economic situation, insecurity, and the state of Nigeria's democracy. According to him, President Tinubu disagreed with their assessment, insisting that his administration was making progress.
By all. As a man who risked so much in the struggle for the return of democratic rule in the dark days of military dictatorship, your greatest legacy would be the strengthening of our democratic institutions.
All is fair in politics, and is equal opportunity. INEC, you mentioned, are neutral. They've never intimidated anybody. If political opponents are crying wolves, maybe they are afraid of their own shadows and the uncertainty in the companies they keep. Not me. I'm ready to, but I won't give them red carpet. I won't offer them the leash to tie me and rope me. No. We wrestle each other to the finishing point. That's the truth. That's fair equality.
However, what followed after the meeting has attracted even greater attention. Presidential aides criticized Cardinal Onaiyekan for making the details of the meeting public and argued that the bishop's view represented only one perspective. Another presidential spokesman even suggested that politics may have influenced the church's position. The comments have continued to generate reactions across the country. The African Democratic Congress's vice presidential candidate, Rotimi Amaechi, strongly condemned what he described as disrespectful remarks directed at Cardinal Onaiyekan and the Catholic Church. Amaechi argued that bishops deserve the same level of respect accorded to political leaders because they provide moral leadership over millions of faithful. Drawing from his experience in government, he maintained that once cameras are allowed into a meeting with the president, such meetings can no longer be considered entirely private. More importantly, he accused the presidency of insulting not just Cardinal Onaiyekan, but the Catholic faith itself. But beyond the political exchanges lies a much deeper national conversation. Throughout history, religious leaders have often served as the conscience of the society. Whether in the struggles against apartheid in South Africa, the American civil rights movement led by pastors like Martin Luther King Jr., or Nigeria's own fight against military dictatorship, men and women of faith have consistently challenged injustice, defended the oppressed, and reminded leaders of their moral obligations. The role of the church, the mosque, and other religious institutions extends beyond conducting worship services. They exist to uphold truth, justice, compassion, and the dignity of human life. When millions of Nigerians struggle daily with soaring food prices, unemployment, insecurity, kidnapping, inflation, and declining purchasing power, should religious leaders pretend that everything is normal? Many Nigerians will argue that silence in such circumstances amounts to abandoning their prophetic responsibility. Religious leaders interact with ordinary citizens every day. They hear the cries of widows, unemployed graduates, struggling families, business owners, and victims of violence. If these realities are not communicated to those in authority, then who should speak on behalf of the voiceless? At the same time, government officials also have the responsibility to present their own assessments of policies and achievements. It is entirely legitimate for any administration to defend its programs and explain the progress it believes it has made. However, democracy flourishes when criticism is answered with facts, dialogue, and engagement rather than personal attacks. Constructive criticism should not automatically be interpreted as political opposition. A government that welcomes honest feedback demonstrates confidence in its policies and strengthens public trust. Likewise, religious leaders must remain non-partisan, objective, and guided solely by truth rather than political interest. Their credibility depends on speaking consistently against injustice, irrespective of which political party occupies power. Nigeria today requires unity, empathy, and sincere dialogue more than ever before. The widening gap between the government and the governed can only be bridged when leaders are willing to listen, critics are allowed to speak freely, and differing opinions are respected. Freedom of expression, respect for institutions, and constructive engagement remains pillar of every healthy democracy. As citizens, perhaps the more important question is not whether the bishops spoke publicly, but whether the issues they raised reflect the daily realities experienced by millions of Nigerians. If they do, then the conversation should move away from personalities and focus instead on finding practical solutions to the nation's economic and security challenges. Now, a nation grows stronger when those in authority are willing to listen, and when respected institutions such as religious bodies have the courage to speak with honesty, wisdom, and compassion. Speaking truth to power is not an act of hostility. It is an act of patriotism when done sincerely and responsibly. In difficult times, moral voices should never be silenced. Instead, they should help guide leaders towards decisions that promote justice, security, economic prosperity, and the well-being of every Nigerian. Thank you for watching Frontliner. Join us again next week as we continue to examine the issues that matter most to Nigerians. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep believing in the possibility of a better nation. For more updates and breaking news, don't forget to follow us on our socials on Facebook at Ogama TV, on Instagram at Ogama TV1, on X at Ogama TV, on YouTube at Ogama TV, and also visit our website at www.ogamatvnews.com. I am Chidiogo Asuke, and I will see you again next week.
What's trending? What do you know? What are they not telling you? This Sunday, step into the front line of truth. Frontliner with Chidiogo, a bold new program on Ogama TV. We break down viral topics, analyze trending issues, and uncover the real story behind the headlines. No filters, no bias, just facts. Showing every Sunday only on Ogama TV. Frontliner, stay ahead, stay informed.